In this video, we're going to talk about the suburbs versus the city center. I live in the city center.
And I live in the suburbs.
We're today in the countryside, which is neutral ground, and we're going to talk about the pros and cons of living in the suburbs versus the city center. So let's go. Hey everybody, welcome to Rising Nomad. My name is Eric.
And Georgina.
And we're sitting today in the beautiful countryside of Serbia, where I have actually got this property here, which I bought last year. And it's where I escape from all the noise of the city. And I live in the city center of Belgrade part of the year, and in a very interesting sort of rural environment on an island in Thailand called Koh Phangan the other part of the year. And I work full-time online as a digital nomad. What about you? You like the suburbs. You grew up in the suburbs of Athens. Tell me about it.
No, actually, I grew up in the city center of Athens.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, but like the last, I don't know, couple of years I lived there. I went back there. I loved it. It was actually a big decision to see, like, to decide where should I live, like city center or suburbs. So it was like, I couldn't decide for a long time, but then, yeah, suburbs won.
Yep. Okay. So, I mean, so you like working remotely from home in the
Yes.
suburbs? Because for me, the idea, like, for me, the suburbs is kind of like the worst of both worlds. It's like you're away from everything. You need a car to drive anywhere, but you don't have this. You don't have this like wide, the sounds of nature full on. You don't have like the
you do.
space, the privacy from your neighbors. Okay.
You do have all this stuff. Like I'm like actually living one parallel street from the beach,
Okay.
which is like gives me the opportunity to go every single day to the beach, at least for like an hour or half an hour. If I wouldn't have time, I would always go like for, I don't know, like for 30 minutes. You wouldn't be able to do that if you live in the city center. It would take me at least an hour to go to reach the seaside.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is for me the best thing I could ever ask. And
Okay.
working remotely, I mean, gives you this chance to be closer to the nature.
Okay, so you can go for a swim, you can go to the beach, and you wouldn't be able to do that in the city center. I get that. But for me, the city center is a place where I have this confluence of different cultures, of different sort of urban ideas, where I can ride my bicycle around the stuff, and I don't really have that when I've been in the suburbs. It's kind of boring. The people are more boring. The places to go out are more boring, and I don't know.
Well, I think like, okay, city center of course attracts younger people.
Yeah.
I know that, like, because like things happen there, like lives and music and scenes, you know, you can find much more
Stuff
there.
happening, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know, like, it depends where you live. Again, I live close to surfing center, so like there
Okay.
are so many people, young people, that they're into kite surf and surfing and I don't know, like skate. They're like all together,
Skating and,
hanging
like,
and
skateboarding, right?
surfing.
Yeah.
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 So it's like completely a different
Yeah, dude.
world. Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is awesome actually. So yeah, I mean, like, I think that there is a new wave of people that I think they really want to go and live to the city, even though we are young. Even though we could have the choice to live in the city center,
Yeah.
we choose to live to the suburbs.
Yeah, well, it's important to know what works for you and to try different stuff. You've tried living in the city center of Belgrade, Serbia. You've lived in the city
Which I
center of
loved,
Athens. Yeah, okay.
by the way.
Yeah, I love it too. The hustle, the bustle, all the different cafes, places to go out and stuff like that. When you want to go out. I mean, like, do you find that after you work a day as a digital nomad and there's something happening in the center, do you just like not go? Or do you go and then waste a bunch of time?
Depends. Yeah, that's true. Actually, like, so the most important thing for me is if you choose the suburbs, you have to have people around you. You have
Social
to
life,
make
yeah.
sure, that you have friends.
Same with around here in the rural countryside, yeah.
So you can like hang with them. I don't like to a beach bar, especially in the summer. You know, like to hang all together. And yes, it's a bit more difficult. You think twice to go to the city center because it would take about 45 minutes for me to drive there.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the end, like, okay, if I really want to go somewhere to a live or to a music scene or something, I will go anyways.
Do you think it's easier to make friends in the suburbs or in the city center? From your experience?
Depends. Like, I know my friends for like so many years.
Yeah.
I know them since high school, actually.
Okay.
So it wasn't that hard for me. But I'm sure that you can always find people that
But as a
you
digital
can match.
nomad, I mean, you're going into a city where you
I'm
don't
going
know.
like into cafes and stuff, so I meet people like, you know, working as well, like with their laptops. So this is very interesting.
Yeah.
You can hang
So you meet
with them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I lived in the suburbs of Belgrade when I moved to Belgrade, and it basically just it was always just going to the center. Yeah, there was rarely a suburb that I actually liked a cool bar, whereas in the center there are always plenty of cool bars. But in the suburbs, you had this like just typical cliches, sort of like middle class people, sort of trying to look a bit fancy but not really achieving any kind of elegance sort of bar. And I was so sick of that. And so since the year 2013, I only live in the center of Belgrade, whereas before I was like living 3 months at a time in Belgrade. So I pretty much had to take any place that I could find someone on Couchsurfing that would rent me a room for a couple months and stuff like that. So that's why I live in the suburbs, even though I would have always chosen city center.
Do you like I mean, the hustle and the bustle? Like you're just like in your apartment and you know there's traffic jam. Like
I like Dorchel in Belgrade because it's quiet. There's not so much traffic through there because on one side you have the main pedestrian street, on the other two sides you have the river, and then there's one side where there's actually traffic coming and going. That's awesome. But yeah, where I'm living right now in Belgrade, it's a little bit busy, a little bit noisy, a little bit, you know, you go outside and you're honking horns and
yeah, you see,
people getting
you wouldn't
angry
have
and stuff
this
like.
if you would live in the suburbs.
Yeah, the noise is a thing.
You could
yeah.
just like listen to birds, you know.
But it's kind of part of the deal because it means that, and it's a much better place to have a bicycle, you know? I can go to the riverfront in like 5 minutes. I can go to the city center in like 5 minutes. I can go to the fortress and all that sort of stuff and really live definitely like to live in the city center in a European city, don't have a car. But if you want to live in the suburbs of most European cities, it sucks taking the bus. It sucks.
Yeah, that's like.
So having a car is a big thing. If you like driving, if you like the convenience of having a car, it's good. But
you feel paralyzed if you don't have a car. I mean, if my car like breaks or something, I feel that I cannot anything.
When I rent cars to come out here, it's like I feel paralyzed when I go back in the city and I still have it for a day or two when I'm in the city. I feel paralyzed with a car in the city center of Belgrade because it's just like, it's so walkable. There's so many nice pedestrian squares and roads where you can walk and cafes where you can sit on a nice patio. And I just couldn't do it.
This is what I miss the most.
Yeah.
Like not having a car and be able to walk everywhere.
And also, one thing I did notice, like when I was living in the suburbs, it was definitely cheaper.
Oh, I know, and automatically you choose like a much smaller space if you live in the city center for a higher price.
Yep, smaller space, higher price, urban living, lots of noise.
I don't know, like what to choose. Like, do I want like a new place, like more spacious, you know, in a cheaper price, or like a tiny hole, you know, like that I have to pay, I don't know, like 600-700 euros.
Yeah, I mean,
in Athens.
Yeah, this is what so I think if people don't know which one they want to choose and they're watching this video trying to figure it out, they should, you should always try before you buy and have some time spent before you rent. Like get an Airbnb in a suburb that looks ideal for you and spend a week there. See how it is being there. And then maybe you'll know some stuff. More about it. Same with the city center. You might find that the neighborhood is like looks nice in the daytime, and then at night it's like really noisy because a bunch of hidden bars open up and a bunch of drunk people walk out at 2 a.m. And just try whatever it is.
And it always depends the city.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure. Like also like the season.
The neighborhood,
sure that, like,
the season,
summer
the city
is always nicer. Like I know during winter it's not that fun to live in the suburbs. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel more isolated. As in the city center, it's much better, it's more vibrant, and but again, like you have to choose. What do you prefer?
Yeah. So I think we can sum it up saying like, I'm pretty happy right now with this countryside view and then living in the city for the rest of the time, and you're happy in the suburbs because you have something that's like the best of both worlds, but not the actual authentic real thing of the countryside nor the city center. So I guess we can agree to disagree on this one and keep on living our own lives. Thanks a lot. This has been Rising Nomad. if you like our channel,
Subscribe.
subscribe. Do it. Just subscribe. They say don't be shy about asking people to
Yeah.
subscribe because, you know, if you like me and Georgina, we make videos all the time and you can watch us. So do that. And we have a community on Facebook where you can join us and interact with us. And slowly but surely, we're assembling the tribe of different people around the world who love cities like Athens, Belgrade, islands like Copenhagen in Thailand, places in Mexico and stuff like
wherever,
that.
actually.
We're going to be
Yeah.
there, yeah. We're going to be online and offline, and you can come and interact with us. Just join the Facebook group in the description. And thanks a lot, guys. We'll catch you later.
Bye.